Welcome to Miss President US. We are so excited that you're all here. I'm Ann Pettigrew-Nunes from the Wilton, Connecticut chapter of Miss President US. Because of COVID, our plans to meet in person have become a virtual program, which is exciting because it means that we can include more girls from further away, and our guests can meet us safely and more easily than they could before. It also means that things look and feel a bit different. Since we're doing everything virtually, we're using technology to communicate. For one-on-one interviews and for group conversations, for games and presentations, videos, debates, polls, for everything. And it's a lot to learn and it's all new. So please be patient with us as we work through all the new technology. And if you're having trouble with the technology on your side, you can always reach out to us during the sessions using the chat function on the right-hand side, or you can reach out to any one of us listed on the welcome letter that you got in your welcome bags by email or by cell phone. We have a big group of participants in grades 4 through 8, which we're so excited about. We'll break off in a few minutes to meet one another. We also have lots of new and returning high school mentors. I'm going to start off our introductions by passing the hosting on to Amanda Mitchell from our Wilton chapter.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, all right, fantastic. Okay, next slide, please. All right, so hello from the mentors. So you guys all probably already spoke with them and, oh no, not yet. You haven't spoken to them yet, have you, in the breakout room? So you guys are gonna have a chance to meet our mentors coming up. Next slide, please. There we go. Okay, so what are we going to do today? I'm sure our new friends are wondering exactly what's going to happen in this meeting. So we are going to have some fun introductions where you're going to meet the mentors and probably some new friends. We're going to break out into small groups and have an activity. You are going to get to hear from 2 guest speakers today, so that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to take a stretch break, of course, grab a snack, and at some point then we might try to take a screenshot of all of us for photos. And then at the end, we're going to have time for questions, and then you're going to take an evaluation to let us know what you think about the program. All right.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna, yeah, okay.
Is this where we're going to introduce the mentors?
Absolutely.
Yes. So if the mentors could start introducing themselves.
We need them in gallery view.
Yes.
All right. Looking great.
So who is the first? Is it Alexia? Is she here?
Hi, I'm Alexia. I'm a junior at Ridgefield High School, and this is my 3rd year participating in Miss President.
Okay, great. Alexia, could you just wave your hand? Thank you.
You're going to tell us something that's favorite. So I think we're doing names, year, and favorite. Something you love to do. A favorite thing of yours.
Oh, a favorite thing of mine is dancing.
Okay. All right, next. Our next mentor.
Hi, I'm Kavya. This is my 2nd year as a mentor for Miss President, and I like to do calligraphy.
Oh, cool. Very nice. Wow.
Hi, my name is Bella. I'm a junior at Wilton High School, and I'm completely new to the program, so I'm excited to get started. I guess a hobby of mine is playing volleyball for the Wilton High School team, so that's really fun.
Great.
I think I'm next.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Marley. I'm a junior at Ridgefield High School, and I also love dancing.
Megan.
I thought we had Megan there.
Sorry. Hi, I'm Megan. I'm a junior at the Ridgefield High School. And one thing I like to do is I like to play guitar.
Ellie?
Hi, I'm Ellie. I'm Ellie. I'm a senior at Ridgefield High School. This is my third year with Miss President, and something that I really like is I teach Hebrew.
Hi, I'm Maya, and I'm a sophomore at Ridgefield High School, and this is my second year mentoring, and I like to dance.
Hi, I'm Hersha. I'm a junior at Ridgefield High School. This is my third year mentoring, and right now I'm helping out with like campaigns for the upcoming election. So I'm really enjoying that right now.
Hi, I'm Eliza. I'm a junior at Ridgefield High School. This is my my second year, as a mentor, and I really like music.
Hi, I'm Natalie. I'm a senior at Ridgefield High School. This is my third year in Miss President as a mentor, and something I love doing is working with kids.
Hi, I'm Avni. I'm a sophomore at Wilton High School. This is my second year with Miss President. Something I really love to do is read.
Hi, my name is Megan. I'm a junior at Wilton High School, and one of my favorite things is playing field hockey.
Hi, I'm Julia. I'm a senior at Ridgefield High School, and this is my fourth year mentoring. And one of my favorite things to do is hang out with my friends.
I think it might be me.
Kara?
Oh, hi, I'm Kara, and I'm a senior at Ridgefield High School. This is my fourth year mentoring, and my favorite activity is community service.
Now, Kayla, that's you.
My turn now? What?
I guess.
Yeah.
Why not?
Okay, I'm Kyla. This is my first year mentoring and my third year in Miss President, and something I like to do is play the cello.
Oh.
Hi, I'm Olivia. I'm a junior at Wilton High School. This is my first year as a mentor, and something I like to do is play tennis.
Hi, I'm Emma. I'm a junior at Ridgefield High School. This is my second year as a mentor, and I like to run.
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm a junior at Wilton High School. This is my first year as a mentor, and something I love to do is play field hockey.
Is Caroline McGrath on the call? I didn't see her.
No.
Okay.
And I don't have Cecilia either.
Okay, so I think we're actually good. Savannah's not getting here until after 5, so I think we're.
What about Elia?
Yeah, if any other mentor is on the call that we can't, I can't see everybody on the call. So just speak up if you didn't get to introduce yourself. All right, Virginia, I think we're good.
Okay, so let's go.
Next.
All right. Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Mrs. Gunther, and I'm here part of the Wilton Miss President chapter. And we're going to do a couple of activities today. We're very excited that you're here, first of all. And we are looking forward to seeing you enjoy yourselves, and also to make sure that you really get something out of this program for yourselves. We are here all the time for you, so if you ever have a question, just get in touch with us, okay? All right, so let's see. Do you recognize these young women? Who could these possibly be? All right, I'm going to ask the participants probably to, can we go through the chat room? Okay. All right, let's have everybody mute themselves for a moment, and then just let's use the chat room.
Looks like everybody has a pretty good idea of who they are.
Yeah, yes, they do. Okay, why are they famous? Okay, Maggie, I see Maggie. Okay, Maggie, can you unmute for a moment and tell us about Malala?
Malala was a girl from Pakistan, and when a terrorist group called the Taliban came through, she stood up for her rights because they were trying to wipe out women's education.
Okay, good, great. Can anyone tell us anything about Greta? Okay, Eva, let's go. Let's hear you.
Greta Thunberg is a climate change activist from Switzerland or Sweden, I forget.
Good, good. All right. So I hear a lot of different, I saw on the chat, everybody knows exactly who these two young women are. What do you think they were like in 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th grade? Do you think they were shy? Do you think they were nervous? Do you think they were courageous? I'll let you think about it. Let's be honest for a moment. What do you think they were like in 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade? Strong-minded, good, Marina. Ah, yes, Malala. Yes, Maggie. Malala was just an ordinary girl. Do any of you share, any of you girls that are here right now, do you share in what they believe in, education or environment? Just like us. Elise, very good. Excellent. Pep, I agree. They have to be smart, you think? Yes. Okay, let's continue, because I think they have something to teach us, and I'm going to introduce you to some other girls who are very, very much leaders right now. So let's go over this for a second. We have an activity for you here today. You're going to be divided into pairs with a mentor. You're going to take turns interviewing each other, and you're going to ask just 4 simple questions. What is your name? What grade you are in? If you could be any animal, which animal would you choose? And what is something you are good at? Take notes as you interview your person. And then what you're going to do is you are going to role reverse. So you're going to take time, and then the other person is going to answer the same questions. When it's time for us to get back into the gallery, we're going to have you guys just wave and say, hi, my name is, but in this case, you're not going to be talking as yourself, but as the other person you interviewed. So can I just have 2 mentors? I think Bella and Kayla, can you try this with us for a moment?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, and?
Yep.
All right, okay. So let's see. Who starts?
I can start.
Okay.
So, I'm Kavya. I'm in 11th grade. If I could be any animal, I would be an elephant, and something I'm good at is karate.
Perfect. So I just wrote that down.
Good, Bella.
Okay, and then we'll switch first. So I'm Bella. I'm also a junior. If I could be any animal, I think I'd be an eagle, so I could fly. And I'm really good at smiling.
Great. Okay, now if we come back, all right, let's try this now, switching.
All right, so hi, I'm Bella. I'm in 11th grade. If I could be any animal, I would be an eagle, and something I'm good at is smiling.
Okay. Bella, as she speaks, I want you to just kind of wave your hand, okay, so we know.
Oh, me?
Right. Okay, so now we're going to switch it.
Yeah. So, hi, I'm Kavya. I'm in 11th grade. If I could be any animal, I'd be an elephant. And I'm really good at karate.
Great. Okay, are we ready? Can we break out? All right, let's break out.
So here's where a little technical difficulty on my part is. When I got rid of one room, which was the mentor's room, it deleted your guys' names off of my thing here. So for some reason, it's not where I had assigned you. So I'm just gonna have to do it. I think I'm gonna make smaller groups then, because we're just gonna go.
Okay.
I'm so sorry about this. Is there anything we can do while can we move on and we'll come back to this maybe? And in the meantime, I can assign the rooms while in the background. I apologize. This is me with Zoom. I'm not sure why they didn't allow me to. Are you guys getting any invitations or no? No. So if we could go on to the next activity and then come back to this one, I will have you guys all end up in your rooms.
Okay.
Is that okay? I apologize, but
That's
just
fine.
in the sake of time, so we're not waiting around till I assign 16 different rooms.
Is Kim on?
Yes, she's
Okay.
on.
Okay, terrific.
I see Kim is here.
I will show the.
Okay, Kim? All right, does anyone recognize Mrs. Mellin? Kim Mellin is the co-director of the Wilton Historical Society, and some of you may have seen her at the Historical Society at a program, or you may have seen her as she worked on a couple of programs with the Wilton schools and Reading schools for 2nd, 4th, 5th graders, I think, Kim, right? Anyway, what she's going to do is spend some time with you looking at women's suffrage. And this is going to be special for us. She also happens to be an advisory board member of the Miss President U.S. Wilton. Okay.
Hi, everyone. Virginia, do you want to make me a co-host so I can share my screen?
Yes.
There you go.
Good.
Okay, I'm not going to do it yet. I'm going to start with I guess I don't need to introduce myself because Virginia just introduced me. I am so happy to be at your first meeting. It looks like you guys are off to a great start. As Virginia and Mrs. Gunther said, I'm going to talk to you about some changes that have happened for women and girls since the 1800s up until the early 1900s. And there were a few events and a few very strong, focused, and unrelenting women who mobilized a movement that led from women not being allowed to vote or have many of the same rights as men to then gaining the right to vote. And that was called suffrage or enfranchisement. And even after they won the vote in 1919, women have been fighting for other rights and equality in so many aspects of our lives. We're still working on issues today, as you, I'm sure, are very aware of. But it was these early women who fought for women's suffrage that started paving the way for women, great women like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who you all know just recently passed away, for her to become a Supreme Court justice, and where she was able to make laws that helped give equality to more people. I bet all of you have ideas of paths you want to take after you finish middle school and move on to high school and afterwards. There are so many options for girls these days compared to 150 years ago. I mean, the world is pretty wide open right now for especially American girls, and we're very lucky. The Historical Society has just launched a new exhibit that's focused on suffrage, and it starts with the early suffragists. I learned when I started working on this that using the term suffragettes was actually considered a derogatory term. It was used like to make fun of the women, and so now we call them suffragists. And it's taken a lot. I mean, you can still say suffragettes, but suffragists is the correct way of doing that. Now I'm going to share my screen here, and let's see. I need to hide myself over here, make this bigger, and I'm just going to play the beginning of our early equality video.
To tax one who's not represented is tyrannical if you can. Why woman should not have the ballot? She's taxed just the same as a man.
Women have been fighting for equality with men in America since the Revolution. Writing to her husband in Philadelphia at the Continental Congress in 1776, Abigail Adams asked the founders to give women greater legal powers over themselves and their property. If they did not, she warned, women would foment a rebellion and will not hold ourselves bound by any laws in which we have no voice or representation. Women of the late 18th and early 19th centuries were not expected to live political lives. After marriage, women of the early United States conventionally took on the role of mother and housekeeper, while their husbands tended to the family business or farm. While the women of this time did have opportunities to gain an education, entering the political arena was largely out of the question. Needlepoint, embroidery, and serving tea with other women of the community were common activities for the women of this era.
Okay, so then I'm going to tell you about some changes that started sort of in the middle of the 1800s. For one thing, education became more available to more women. Now, what we're talking about here are women who mainly had, and girls who were a little bit better off than the average. People who'd been in this area for a while, in the Wilton, Connecticut area, and other more advanced communities in the colonies had more opportunities. And some women who were lucky enough to be able to go to college became quite well educated. And this was a time when a few women-only universities and colleges opened, including Mount Holyoke. And these women learned that they could have a voice, maybe not in politics because they weren't allowed to do that, but quite a few of them took stands against slavery, also called abolition. And they were called abolitionists, trying to get rid of slavery. And they were also in favor of temperance, a movement to limit alcohol in the country. They felt strongly against slavery, but they also felt that alcohol was a bad influence on mostly the menfolk, because women typically didn't drink alcohol at that time. And it was these women and some men who started the suffrage movement, partly because the other two movements allowed them to have a platform to speak on. Two of the earliest anti-slavery activists were Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Lucretia Mott. And they met while they were both attending the first World's Anti-Slavery Convention, which took place in London in 1840. While they were there, they were kept from speaking because they were women. And convinced by this and other similar experiences that they needed to organize independently of other causes to fight for women's rights, Mott and Stanley met with other like-minded women and planned the Seneca Falls Convention, which is Seneca Falls is in New York State, in 1848. This was the first organized convention for women's rights in America. At Seneca Falls, over 300 people attended, and 68 women and 32 men, including the abolitionist Frederick Douglass, signed the Declaration of Sentiments. Now I'm going to share my screen again. Let's see, I'm going to go back to here and go to, I'm going to go to, let's see, where am I going? Well, just bear with me. I have these things on different pages. So this was the Declaration of Sentiments, and you can see these were the women and the men who signed it, and it was the first of its kind at the time. So then I'm going to, let's see. Stop sharing again, and maybe I have too many things to share with you going back and forth here. Let's see. So shortly after the convention, Susan B. Anthony, I'm sure most of you are familiar with her. She was a big figure in the women's suffrage movement. She joined the movement, and she was quite close friends with Frederick Douglass. And now I'm going to share again and show you the next video from our exhibit that I wanted to share with you. Let's see.
From the 1850s onward, Susan B. Anthony, Matilda Jocelyn Gage, and other women toured the nation giving speeches and holding conventions for women's suffrage. During these decades, some women, like Gage in 1871 and Anthony in 1872, defied the law and voted in national elections. One woman ran for president as the Equal Rights Party candidate. This was Victoria Woodhull. Nominated by other parties, she ran again in 1884 and in 1892. In 1878, women even got a bill introduced in Congress that eventually became the 19th Amendment. Continuing education programs and social and civic clubs provided spaces for women to meet and work together, and further popularized equal rights and suffrage in the late 1800s. Wilton residents Jane Merwin and Marion Olmsted benefited from these trends, earning diplomas from a Chautauqua institution in the 1890s. Chautauqua lecturers often advocated suffrage, temperance, child labor reforms, and other populist measures. Women's suffrage advocacy in these years may not seem like the rebellion threatened by Abigail Adams in 1776, but for the day, it was radical. For the first time, women were speaking in public, wearing bloomers or half-skirts over loose pants, breaking the law in civil disobedience campaigns, proposing their own legislation, and symbolically challenging men for the highest powers in the land.
Okay, going back to the Declaration of Sentiments, I forgot to tell you that it was modeled after the Declaration of Independence. So it looked a little bit like it, it felt a little bit like it, but in it, there were 16 grievances that women had, and one of them was that women weren't allowed to vote. And you know, this was new because men weren't used to women standing up for what they were thinking about. And, you know, there was a lot of resistance to this, clearly, because it took from 1848 to 1919 for the 19th Amendment, where women got the right to vote, to pass. So that was a pretty long time. And then when you think about the times, like think back 150 years ago, there were no cars, there were very limited phones, there were certainly no cell phones, or, you know, like, how did people get together, these women? And it was really pretty remarkable how the word of mouth spread, but I think partly as education increased and women would have teas to get together, local women would get together and they would inform each other. So then small groups would form around the country. And one of the keys to the success of the movement was the organization. I mean, that's not to say that all of the women got along all the time and thought that they agreed on their methods. Frequently, they didn't agree. And in fact, there was, at one point, I'm going to share my screen again. We had, all right, where are my slides here? Where'd they go? Let's see. Sorry about this. Where are my slides? Click to exit full screen. I don't know where I am here. I don't know. Wait, okay, here we go, sorry. So these were like peaceful marches that they had, and most of them were peaceful, but there was a wing of the organization or the movement that was led by this woman, Alice Paul, that was considered more militant. And they did things like they set garbage bins on fire, and you know, they got themselves arrested. And I am looking to let's see, I am looking to show you another video clip, but I'm not sure why oh, there we go. Okay. Now I got to get to the right point here. Sorry about that. So I wanted to show you that Susan B. Anthony became quite involved in the whole movement, and I'm going to show you this clip from it.
And other women towards the nation, giving speeches and holding conventions for women's suffrage. During these decades, some women, like Gage in 1871 and Anthony in 1872, defied the law and voted in national elections. One woman ran for president as the Equal Rights Party candidate. This was Victoria Woodhull. Nominated by other parties, she ran again in 1884 and in 1892. In 1878, women even got a bill introduced in Congress that eventually became the 19th Amendment.
All right, did I show you that video already? I can't even, no.
Yes. Yeah.
I did. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was the other one. So you did see the woman in jail. I mean, when you think about these women who put their lives on the line, really, because they believe so strongly, I want you guys to think about what you would risk to get something that really meant a lot to you. Like, would you be willing to stand out in the cold and get arrested for something you believed in? Like when I came into the meeting, I saw the pictures of Malaya and Greta, and I thought, well, those are two young women who are willing to go against the establishment and fight for what they believe in. And that's what the women suffragists did. And it took a long time. It took almost a whole century when you think of it in those terms. It's just truly amazing. So think about something now that maybe is not going to be, gosh, I hope things will get better. It's before another 70 years or something that we're working on now. But, change is slow sometimes, and you can't let up on what you believe in. And that's the way these suffragists felt. And our exhibit shows, we focus a lot on two Wilton women, Hannah Ambler and Grace Schenck. And I am going to show you pictures of them because I think you will want to see them. And let's see. So that was Alice Paul. I showed you her. That's Hannah Ambler and Grace Knight Schenck. They were two women who were quite active in the movement in Wilton. Hannah was older than Grace, but they both were able to vote in the first presidential election that women were allowed to vote in. And this is a page from Hannah Ambler's diary. And you can see where she underlined, "It is my first vote." I mean, so special that we have her diary from this time. And it just must have been so amazing to her to go to the poll, the town hall, old town hall, and vote. And she was a landowner, she was a widow, she paid taxes, and yet she was not allowed to vote until then. And that's why women pushed for this, because a lot of women did own land and were the head of their households with or without a man. And, there were states that did allow women to vote way earlier than 1919. Wyoming was the first state that allowed women to vote. And that was in the mid 1800s because women owned land out there and they needed to have more rights. So, it wasn't all across the whole country. And kind of sadly, Connecticut was not among the first states to accept women voting. They came after it was already put into law. So they ratified in September of 1919 when it passed in August of 1919. So that was, you think of Connecticut, I always thought of Connecticut as being pretty progressive and forward thinking, but it wasn't always the case.
So Kim?
Yes.
Let's keep on going because we do have time.
Mm-hmm.
And just let the girls know where they could find out more information with Hannah Ambler and Grace Schenck.
Sure. So on the Wilton Historical Society's website, wiltonhistorical.org, there are several videos that outline, they have different topics. The ones I showed you were from early equality, so from the early suffragists. Then there's one on anti-suffragists, because there were a lot of women who actually didn't think that women should have the vote. They thought women should not be involved in politics. And certainly there were plenty of men. there's a segment on clothing. So think about the old dresses, how women used to have to wear corsets, and it would take them a long time to get dressed, and their insides would all be squished, and they'd have these big dresses that they couldn't do anything. Well, when they started marching and going to these suffrage events, women needed to be able to walk, and they needed to be able to be comfortable. So clothing changed. So if you are interested in that, there's a whole segment on that. There's a segment on Hannah Ambler, one on Grace Knight Shank, and they're not long. Each is about 5 minutes. So you can really dive a little deeper into the whole suffrage movement in Wilton in particular, which is it's really pretty cool to see. And there are a lot of pictures and some music. So I suggest everyone do that. And
thank you, Kim. Thank you. Let's go and see what Kim has been talking about. And I think we have another guest that was going to be telling us more about women leaders. So here we go. Avni, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So if we look at some of these women, we saw that they all kind of look the same. But Avni's going to tell us about a couple of other women that we need to see.
Okay, wait. Give me a second. Okay, can you see that?
No.
No. Okay.
It just says that you started, but now you can see it.
Okay. You can see it?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, basically, when we think of suffrage and when we're taught about suffrage in school, they teach us 3 names for the most part. This is not working. Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Lucretia Mott, and Susan B. Anthony. But how could it be that just 3 women were able to single-handedly win women the right to vote? Like, if you think about it, when you're doing a group project in school or at somewhere else, you need everyone to pitch in, and you usually need some help from some other people too. So how could just 3 women have fought and won against an entire country? They couldn't have. You see, there's a ton of names that they don't teach you in school, but women wouldn't have the right to vote without them. There were Black women like Ida B. Wells and Sojourner Truth who ensured that Black women were included in the fight when some white suffragists didn't want them to be. They invented the idea of intersectionality, which is the idea that things that like race and religion are tied to gender. It's an idea that lives on even today. And then there was Chinese Mabel Pinghua, who when she was just a teenager, not much older than some of you, led one of the largest suffrage parades in US history. And lead she did, riding a white horse and risking her community's support to fight for the right to vote. Native Hawaiian Wilhelmine Dowsett organized the first women's suffrage club in Hawaii, and men like Frederick Douglass, George Francis Train, and Daniel Anthony also joined the movement, using their privilege to fight for their mothers, sisters, and daughters. But even though the suffrage movement had the support of all these people, the 19th Amendment only gave white women the right to vote. Black women and men had to wait until 1965, and Latinas, Asians, and Native Americans couldn't vote until 10 years later, in 1975. And even today, there are people who can't vote. Puerto Ricans and some criminals, for example, are citizens but can't vote for president. Elections, like the one you'll be participating in later this year, allow people to express their opinions and have an impact on their country. It's one of the most important rights we have. But as you can see in this graph from the 2016 election, almost 30% of eligible citizens can't vote. Suffrage is an important problem that continues today, but thanks to the work of suffragists, we're already a long way there. And maybe you'll become new suffragists, fighting until everyone finally has the right to vote.
Thank you, Avni. Thank you. All right, so let's see if we could find out a few more suffragettes. Amanda?
Sorry. All right. Thank you, Avni. That was a great presentation. I've done a lot of studying on suffrage movement and women in history, and you taught me new information today. So thank you. That was a great presentation. So now we're going to see just how much you ladies know about other women activists and leaders. Some you may have already seen in the slide. I am going to post a Kahoot link. For those of you who may not be familiar with Kahoot, it is just an online trivia game that we're going to play. So I'm going to post the link in the chat. So you'll go over to the chat, click on the link, and I want you to make sure that your computer is definitely muted because there are sound effects to this. And if all 50 of us are doing it at once, it's going to be crazy. So just make sure you're on mute. You're going to play the trivia game, and then when you're done, just close that window and come back to your Zoom window. All right, are you guys ready? All right, here we go. So these are some of the women that were in your Kahoot. You may recognize some of them. And just as Avni taught us, there were many women in this fight from many different races, but they all did not benefit from the fight at the same time. All right. And who are these women leaders? These are some of our female leaders from past and present. You may recognize some and maybe not a few. Hoping that you might have learned something new, which I did, not being from Connecticut. I did not know that the first governor of Connecticut was a woman, Ella Grasso. Many firsts on this page.
And I think also some of those women we're going to see again in person.
Exciting. Okay. All right, and we're ready for the next slide. Okay. We are taking a break, correct?
Yep.
Okay. So, ladies, we are going to take about a 3 to 4 minute break. If you need to get up, stretch, grab a snack, use the restroom, and we will see you back here in under 4 minutes.
Okay, let's see. Do we have some volunteers? What is your name? What grade you are in? Any animal you would choose and something you are good at. And you're going to speak as if you are that person. So we need a gallery. And so that person can wave. All right. Okay, Eva.
It's snack time and I went
And your
over here.
Okay. And your partner. Where's your partner?
Hannah.
Okay. Are we ready to go?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, I'm Hannah. I go to Montessori school in Wilton. If I could be any animal, I'd be a bald eagle. And something I'm good at is piano.
Hannah?
Hi, my name is Ava. I go to Pierpont. I live in Westport. If I could be any animal, I would be a hawk. And something I like doing is dancing.
Elise?
Hi, my name is Elise. I'm 9 years old, and if I could be any animal, I would be a hummingbird. And something I'm good at is skiing and soccer.
Claire? Okay.
I didn't get to hear my partner's name.
She was having really bad connection issues and we didn't have time to type it in the chat, but if Claire wants to introduce herself, would that be okay?
That's fine. Great.
So my name is Claire. I'm in 4th grade and I'm homeschooled. If I could be any animal, I would be a cat because it has good balance. And I'm good at Ninja Warrior.
Good. Do we have any other volunteers? Okay, Marina.
Okay. Hi, I'm Julianne. I'm in 7th grade. If I could be any animal, I'd be a dolphin, and I'm good at horse riding.
Good. Do we have one more? Okay, Abby.
My name is Maribel. I am in 7th grade. The animal I would be is a tiger, and I'm really good at basketball. Can I go?
Okay, Rosie.
My name is Gupta. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Sorry if I'm not. She's in 6th grade. If she were to be an animal, she'd be a turtle, and she likes to do gymnastics.
Okay, good.
So did we hear both sides of that one?
Oh, Gopika?
Her name is Rosie. She is in 7th grade, and she would be a cheetah, and she's good at crafts.
Good, 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 good. So can anyone tell us, what is this map telling us? What information?
How many women are can vote?
Yes. Okay, so let's look. Which country was the first to give women the right to vote? Jules, that's you from New Zealand? Okay. And which is the last country Okay, Lisa can't, okay, Rosie, what did you see?
I saw it.
Yeah. 2011. Although they actually don't have technically the right to vote. All right, next. So let's zero in on the United States. So in the United States, what's the percentage of women we have? Allison, can you tell us how many women we have?
Me?
Yeah, how many women do we have? What's the percentage?
1.0.
Okay, 51%, good. And how many men?
49%.
Great, great. All right, so keep this in your head and let's go to the next one. But how many women are really in government? Okay, Maggie. Oh, Maggie, you're good at math, huh? Great. Can you mute? Okay, 20. Go ahead, ladies. I could see we have some math people here. Go.
20%.
20%. How do you girls feel about that?
Our population isn't represented in our numbers of government.
Okay, let's see what happens. Are we ready? Michelle? Anne?
Yeah, I'm here. I can try and do this. I hope my connection stays.
Okay, let's see. Go.
Ladies, this is a kind of a funny picture, but we're wondering, what if dogs made all the decisions for cats? What would it be like? Dogs, yes. Hilarious. What if dogs were the ones who made all the decisions for cats? What would it be like?
I don't think the cats would like that very much.
I don't think they would either. I don't think they would either. Let's think about who makes the decisions in our government and how those decisions are made. Does anyone know how we decide who will represent us?
By voting?
By voting, exactly. So why is it important to be able to vote?
Because that way you have your own say and you can decide on who you think is better, who can lead better, and who can make better choices for your needs.
Exactly.
So you can have a voice in your community.
Yeah. So I have a little election for us to do here. We're going to decide about a meal to have together when we can meet in person. So if you have hair shorter than your shoulders, please go ahead and vote. Anyone whose hair is longer than their shoulders may not vote. Can we have the poll, please?
What if it is like at your shoulders?
That's a good question. If it's at your shoulders,
can't vote.
Yeah, because you petitioned for it, I think you should go ahead. Yes. Oh, this is a close. Ooh, it's looking close.
So you said people that don't have that have hair longer than the shoulders can't vote?
Correct. Yep. That's what I said. Okay. So it looks like most people, I think we're probably done now, right? So which is better, pizza or hamburgers? Pizza is the winner, 63%. Great. So we're all going to have pizza. Everybody, what do you think about that?
Mean.
It's unfair.
Some people are happy, right? The people who voted for pizza, but it's not very fair. What about the people who didn't vote?
They don't get a say in it. What if everyone who didn't vote wanted hot dogs?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean hamburgers.
Or something else, right? So you don't get your voice represented unless you actually vote. And if you don't have access to being able to vote, then there's no chance that your voice can be represented. So let's think about the circle and the graph that we saw. Why do we need women in political office?
So that way it's even. So like men have their own representatives and women have their own representatives.
That's an interesting idea.
So that everyone can get a say.
So it can be more representative, right? Okay, next slide. Okay, so if that's true, that we need more women to be able to represent the population better, more accurately, why don't more women run for office?
Well, because a lot of times they're not voted because men don't vote them. And some women are scared.
Some women are scared. They're afraid.
Because a lot of men are in office and a lot of the women are afraid that they're not going to like that they're going to get in trouble because of the men who are in office that can threaten them.
Oh,
Wow.
harassment. That's a whole
Harassment.
that's an important and scary category. I see in the chat, Maggie says they're afraid of being put down. Yep.
Yep.
Do you think women who run for office are judged the same way that men are? Anybody? No.
Women who run for office are given less of a chance than men do.
You guys all seem to agree on that. And do you think women are encouraged to run for office as much as men are? I'm going to look in the chat for answers to this one too.
Yeah, I think use the chat.
No, women are not encouraged as often, and it actually takes women on average eight being encouraged to run 8 times before they'll actually say, yeah, I think I could do that. I think I should do that. But men typically don't need quite as much encouragement as women do. Okay, in the interest of time, because we're just about finished. The next slide. So this is why we're here. This program is here to motivate and prepare you for your future leadership roles. We know you can achieve great things. We know that you will achieve great things because you are future leaders, and many of you are leaders already. So we're here to learn and get excited about becoming women leaders and to prepare you for the future. Let's take a quick look at the blue box on the right. Can we pop that blue box up? Thank you. The line on top says nonpartisan. Does anyone know what that means? Not a lot, no. Nonpartisan. At Ms. President US, we don't support one party over another. We learn about the different parties, and when we have an elected leader from one party visit with us, we always invite a leader of the same level from the other party as well, so that it's balanced. We have balanced representation. That's what we mean when we say we're nonpartisan. And we're also nonprofit, which means that we're not here to make money. We're here to learn and support and inspire. This organization started in Ridgefield, Connecticut, and as it grows, the community grows too. But our idea is to always work with girls to learn more about their own communities and to consider the needs within those communities. That might mean your neighborhood or your town or your state, or it might mean our entire country. So our mission is to motivate and prepare girls to aim for the highest civic leadership positions and know they can achieve them. I think what we'll do, we want you guys always to arrive on time so we don't run out of time at the end, and we promise that we are going to work on all the logistics on our end so that we can get through and make sure everyone has a turn. So be ready on time, log into the Zoom link, and use the bathroom and get ready. Be sure you put away your cell phones so that you can focus on the session. And because we're going to be talking with each other, we need to be kind and respectful to make sure that everyone feels like they've had a chance and been treated well. Every time we meet, it helps us to be better at running the program and to make sure it's the most fun for you that it possibly can be. We need you to provide feedback to us. So in the next slide, when we skip ahead, there's going to be something called a Mentimeter. So if you can, if you have a parent or you have your own cell phone, hold the cell phone up to the screen and you can fill out the evaluation through the cell phone. And it's really, really simple.
Okay, could we go
But most of all, we want everyone to be sure they're having fun. So do we have any questions before we part today? Any questions about the content?
Is the survey anonymous?
The survey is anonymous.
It is anonymous, yep.
So we won't know who's saying what.
Where do you find the survey?
The survey is going to be right here.
Right here.
And if you don't have a cell phone to do it, you can enter that website onto the computer.
Bye.
Bye, Sydney. Bye, Claire. Bye, Atana.
Bye, guys. Bye, Abby.